Aloha. Aloha.
Aloha.
Betsy.
Aloha, Jonathan.
How are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm still getting used to these new glasses.
Yeah, love the new glasses.
Thank you.
Yeah. So it's
so much better, although I'm still getting used to the progressives, because it's like here it's far, down here it's reading, and then in the middle it's kind of between the two.
I know. I might brave it next time. I got bifocals, so.
Yeah, bifocal. I know someone who said they couldn't handle the progressives, so I posted a couple pictures about my new glasses and the fact they're progressives, and it's funny. I had a couple people were like, "Yeah, I was fine within a couple hours." Someone else like, "Yeah, by the next day I was great." Other people are like, "It took me 2 weeks."
2 weeks. That's everybody I know says it's 2 weeks. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Today is definitely better than it was yesterday. Yesterday it like just made me nauseous.
Yeah.
It was bad. Yeah. But it's okay. It feels a little warpy sometimes if you like.
Oh, hey, there's your neighbor.
Right.
The peacock. I heard the peacock loud and clear.
Yeah.
And we'll see if I can get through live without having a gardener show up with a leaf blower today.
Well, earlier when I was doing my deep dive, I had the trash truck show up.
Like we used to when we were doing our broadcast at 6 a.m.
No, I mean, if we had done our normal at 8, it would have been right in the middle of us talking. We would have had the trash truck.
That's funny. That's really funny. So we've noticed there's nobody in the chat yet, but
one lurker.
Rebecca
says good afternoon.
Oh, there's Rebecca. Hey, hi Rebecca. Aloha, dear. Thanks for popping in. I think my sister Penny is probably work lurking too. She may not be able to chime in on the chats. Penny and I are doing we're rebooting Psychic Sisters, this time on Fridays. So I'll be live with my sister, Penelope Gordon, at 6 a.m. Hawaii time, which is 9 a.m. West Coast time. And I think that's maybe 3 o'clock on the East Coast right now.
No, 9 Pacific would be
3 p.m.
12.
Oh, yeah. Duh. Oh, sorry. I was doing, me and math. Not a good combo. Rebecca, thanks so much for coming in. And we're going to be talking about a couple of things.
Hi, what are you doing, buddy? Hi. Oh my God. Special needs cat. Hi.
Oh, well.
Boy.
Who is this?
This is Maul. He's our special needs kitty that was Frank's patient. He was run over by a car. He had his little head squished. And so he's missing an eye. He's blind in the other eye. Pretty sure he's got a little brain damage.
Cats are tough, man. Cats are tough.
Yeah, so the previous owners sunk like $5,000 into saving his life, and then a few weeks later we're like, well, we don't want to deal with the special needs, so just put him down. Frank, of course, was like, no, we're not doing that. The whole hospital loves this cat, so why would we put him down?
And so Rebecca,
you're giving him up to us. We're not euthanizing him. And then Frank's like, I'll just take him. He's my cat.
Yeah, and they couldn't have had any complaints with that. And the cat would fit in very well at Rebecca's because she has dogs and cats. She rescues Chihuahuas. She fosters. She fosters the ones that are surrendered for euthanasia because they're dangerous, and they all turn out to be just sweet little dumplings. And she has Savannah cats and Bengals and Savannahs, or just Savannahs. Yeah, and they're black and they're amazing. Yeah. So She's
Hi,
totally,
buddy. I know.
yeah.
Oh, don't you even start Kiana. She is not happy.
I can imagine. He
She's
probably
like,
wants to
"I'm supposed
follow
be
her
out
everywhere.
now." Oh, now you want to come over here?
Yeah.
Come here. No, she's
Just
gonna hide
Savannah's.
under the
Okay.
table.
Rebecca said she has just Savannah's. Cool.
So Kiana's now hiding under the table. And there's the problem.
It's a busy day over there at Jonathan's house. He's got a lot going on. So you just came off a live. You did a series of 4-week series.
No, it's 5 weeks.
5-week series for a very in-depth examination of the Spirit Keepers Tarot. Very cool.
So 5 videos. This last one just came off. I did the 8s, 9s, and 10s. And then, oh my gosh, kids. And I also went in a little bit how this deck is used for I Ching readings. So each card at the bottom left-hand corner there has a trigram. So when you get 2 cards, you end up getting a full hexagram.
Oh my.
Yeah. So it's really cool because you can get I Ching reading and then read the 2 cards that you got the I Ching from as part of the reading. Right?
Well, you know what? Since it's new moon and it's setting intention time, I would love a reading around a particular subject.
Okay.
Because as Jonathan knows, a lot of you guys that watch or rewatch this down the road may remember I used to do a live event once a month at a wellness center here for a mediumship group. And I miss doing that. So I started to try to explore that a little bit. And it's interesting that every person or entity, business I reached out to has never returned my inquiries. And even the ones that I sent 2 emails or 2 phone calls or whatever, either the email is no good anymore or the person that's supposed to get back doesn't. So it's all just, nothing's ever come of it. So I take that for what it's worth, right? As this isn't the right time. So if it's not the right time to reboot doing a live thing, because what I wanted to do was once a month have a space and have a presenter do like a half an hour and then have different stations of 2 or 3 readers that would do mini readings for a half an hour. So, or an hour or something. I'm not exactly sure. So I hadn't, but that was my first idea. So it could have been a longer presentation or whatever, but that's what I wanted to do. Or even just do live group reading for the audience. If it was me on stage, that's what I'd be doing. And so, right. So nobody's gotten back to me. So it's obviously not the right time to start that. So what am I supposed to do? I kind of feel like I feel rejuvenated now with
what is the next step for Betsy?
For Betsy Palmer Medium. Yeah.
Medium Betsy Palmer.
Medium Betsy Palmer. What's the project? Just get back on YouTube and start posting some more. Obviously, I'm going to start doing that. But yeah.
Okay. What is Betsy's next project? So I'm going to pull 2, and we're going to read the I Ching first, and then I'll go deeper. So I have this handy dandy little chart, so I can. So the first one that you pull is the lower trigram. The second one is the upper trigram. So the lower trigram is mountain, and the upper trigram is heaven. So it would be heaven over mountain, which is hexagram 33. And I have the handy dandy little book. If you don't have the book of maps, any I Ching book with the hexagrams should be okay. I wouldn't say all of them because some books, some translators really put their own spin on it without like really sticking to the basics, right? They kind of make it up as they go along because it's Chinese, so sometimes there's no real like translation for a word into English. Right? They just kind of make it up.
Okay. That makes sense because, yeah, translating can be tricky and you should really know what you're doing before you reinterpret, yeah?
So
Otherwise,
it's interesting. You got hexagram number 33. 33.
Oh, okay.
Which is retreat, withdrawal, absconding, right? So it's heaven over mountain.
Oh, for crying out loud. Not the hermit card again. I thought I'd finally purged that.
Hostile forces are advancing upon you, and a confrontation will not serve your interest. It is better to retreat for now, but do not mistake the act of retreat with fleeing. Do not abandon the endeavor. Retreat, but plan your counterattack. Show your strength by bringing your opponent to a standstill. By retreating now, your opponent will come to a position of rest. When your opponent is in that position of rest, you can then descend down and attack.
Okay.
So basically, it's like take a step back.
Wait.
Really think about where do you want to do this, right? Which place is it that you like know that that's the right place? That's what I think. That's why you need that step back to really like instead of just asking anywhere and everywhere.
No,
Where do you want to do it? That's the question.
No, two locations, and I know both of them pretty. Oh, Rebecca said, "Are you sure that wasn't for me?" Funny how that works out, huh? Yeah, there's two locations: the Kihei Community Center and then Heritage Hall in Paia. So it's one of those two locations.
Okay, so the two cards I pulled for you, we have the Four of Orbs or Four of Pentacles, Four of Discs, and the Five of Swords. So, yeah, it's like hold on to your resources for now and get ready to like do what needs to happen for you to win, right?
Okay. Yeah.
It's just saying, it's not saying give up. It's just saying pull in for a minute and plan your next attack, so to speak.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Gotcha. That makes sense. But
so instead of like banging your head on a brick wall, figure out how to get around the brick wall. That's that real strong.
Yeah. So it's well, that's kind of like that. Now, this is where I get frustrated with cards. It tells me what I already know about what I tried, and I already knew that I needed to rest. So what's next?
Bottom of the card is moving on to better spaces. Right?
Yeah, that's more my interest. Since that's not it,
you need to find somewhere else that you can do it, and don't necessarily just focus on South Maui. I feel like you need to broaden the reach in a way.
Yeah, which would be Heritage Hall in Paia, which I kind of like that too. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then there's that one, what's the name of it? I'm totally having a brain fart. That one stone church on the way up to Makawao from Paia.
Yeah, I think
glass.
Yeah, Makawao Union Church. I think the space there. I think the cost of the space there was a deterrent. Before COVID, that one was a little bit pricier. So, but you know,
I thought of that because I saw Alex Gray when he came to Maui. There, that's where he did his presentation.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I always think of that place when someone wants to do a presentation because, I mean, it's big enough you can have a big crowd if need be, but it's small enough that even if it's a bigger crowd, it can still be intimate.
Yeah.
Rebecca says sometimes the wall is there for us to rest.
Indeed.
Oh, that's a heavy question, Rebecca. That would be an interesting one to do a reading for.
Let's do it.
I feel like because of that, there's so much now that's like can very easily be taken down, including my own marriage. Even though technically August will be 14 years of being married, but
wow.
you know, because it's a gay marriage, it's legal or whatever.
Well,
I already know that's the next thing they're going to go after now. They took out Roe versus Wade. They already said it. They're going to get rid of gay marriage, and they're going to make it illegal to be gay again.
Well, we're in a democratic state, though. They're turning it over to the state to decide.
I'm perfectly okay here. That's one of the reasons why I'm really glad not to be in the mainland.
Oh, isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth?
I'm much happier out here in our little rainbow world.
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. I love the distance and the separation that we have all the way out here. I've got my little tiny deck that Jonathan recommended, my purse deck, the Radiant in a tin. So I'm going to pull a card or two. Oops.
Oh, interesting. Oh, wow. Okay. I got 2 majors for this one. And I'm going to actually...
It would be interesting if it was...
I want to see the hexagram again.
That would be so interesting if it was the same 2 majors that just jumped out of my deck.
Wheel of Life and the Empress?
No, I got the Fool and the Hierophant. But I just feel like they kind of jumped out just because I don't feel like those are the cards I'm supposed to have.
That's funny. Yours was 33 and this one is 44. Improper meeting. A darkness that has been subdued in the past now reemerges. Isn't that hitting the nail on the head? What has been suppressed now bursts from the pressure and comes out onto the surface. Your conduct in the face of a tempting offer will bear great significance. On the road ahead of you is a small ditch. You must halt the brakes immediately. Do not try and roll over the ditch. The ditch represents an inferior element in your present situation that, if not eradicated right now, will have a permanent adverse impact on you. Constant and consistent checking will avoid disaster. Unions and partnerships are not auspicious. Unions, right? The United States.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the cards that I got for that, I got Wheel of Life, followed by the Empress, right? So I think this really is like the first step, even though it looks like we're going backwards. We really are. It's the wheel turning in a way where, yeah, it looks negative, but I feel like it's going to finally allow us to embrace nature the way we're supposed to. You know, the Empress is Mother Earth. And it looks to me like this night and day idea that, the red versus the blue or whatever you want to call it. Which, by the way, my grandfather was Republican back in the day, and he would roll over in his grave if he knew Republicans called themselves the Red Party.
Yeah, right? That was the Communist Party was the Red Party.
Right? I mean, yeah. I remember stories of my grandfather back in the 50s, like standing up at these like rallies that the town had and like speaking into the microphone, better dead than red. And like, and now suddenly the Republican Party.
Now it's the cool thing. Yeah, cool thing.
Right? And they're all like, oh, but Putin's the great guy. It's like, wow.
So, hey, Rebecca says her great grandpa was president. Now we got to know which one, Rebecca.
Yeah. More.
So here's what's interesting about the cards that I eventually got was the World and this good old Six of Swords, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I think just represents Literally, I don't think I need a book to interpret that this represents the sorrow of the rest of the world for thinking individuals in America.
Grover Cleveland.
Grover Cleveland. Oh, that's amazing. That's so cool.
Oh, the sea, of course.
Yeah, there we go. So yeah, I think the world is dismayed by America's choices right now, but I also feel like I feel like the choices don't really reflect the majority. I feel like it reflects a portion, but not the majority. It probably reflects more people than I would choose to want to believe, but I think it doesn't reflect the majority for sure. Right. So, and it also kind of feels like we're closer to me as an energetically sensitive person. It feels to me like we're getting closer to turning the tide. Like the gears are just clicking before the next cycle. Right. That's what it feels like to me. So it doesn't feel like it's going to look better imminently, but I think I've been saying this for years, that it's like toddlers having tantrums. They know their time is coming to an end and they are acting out for all it's worth. They're milking it for everything they can get. Financial gain, power, having the name.
Is not sustainable. It doesn't support anybody other than the individual.
Rebecca said she feels like pulling out her medicine cards. Yes, I think you should do that and let us know what you get. Because
not echoing what you just said, I just looked at the bottom of the deck and we got the Magus. So the magician, we are creating what our reality is, right?
Yeah.
So I think is going to be a big push towards people like not putting up with it anymore. Right? They're like, no, we're going to create the world that's best for everybody, not just that small little minority that can't handle the idea of losing their power. So.
Yeah.
It says, I feel like this is the corner to the next revelation. Free will, free choice.
Yeah. To catch up.
Revolution.
Yeah.
Revolution.
To catch up with a lot of other forward and free thinking countries. To me, it seems kind of more like the Nordic areas probably have it together pretty good right now. It seems to me. I know there's lots and lots of struggles in many locations, but yes, yeah, revolution. Yeah, we got that. It does feel to me like
there are no mistakes, though. So that revelation, I feel like, is proper. I mean, yeah, I think that was not a mistake. I think that is going to be a revelation to people that like you cannot dictate what people do with their lives if you don't want them to dictate what you get to do with your life. So, revelation.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I should go close that door. This poison is sitting right there.
Yeah. They're coming through pretty clear. So absolutely. Yeah. Rebecca, if you want us to check on anything else, since you're the one voice today representing, just give us a shout. And it is new moon, so it is time to set intentions about the things that you want to call into your life for this next moon cycle. So,
Damon was right there on the ground. It probably came off the gear. Still.
That's cool. So yeah, well, that was my whole inquiry about what do I want to call into my life coming up. Mm-hmm. And we have a comment from Candy's Broom Closet.
Hi, Candy.
Hi.
Hello, agree. So much coming to light. Revelatory times. Yep.
Yeah.
Old systems are falling apart because we realize that they don't really work except for a very small percentage of people.
Yeah. And it really isn't just this moral high ground. It is also financial stability, and it's people. COVID also, aloha, Candy. People have also reevaluated what they want their lives to look like. I think so many people have um, had a revelation that in America we're taught to birth, school, work, death, like the old rock song. We're taught to go to school and then be loyal to the business, a business, and work for someone else, and
insurance.
Sacrifice your quality of life out of loyalty of service to a corporation, and then retire it hopefully with enough years to enjoy something for a little while. And it's not working out so great. There is no more gold watch and a pension for retirement. It just doesn't exist for the majority. And a lot of people are so dissatisfied with that mythology that there's a lot of people have made different choices now.
There's a lot more people who are just won't work for someone else anymore.
Or at least not for a non-living wage. Right. That's pretty important.
Basically. Indentured servitude is what we call it.
Yeah. Oh, Rebecca says, wait a minute. Rebecca said it's her birthday.
Oh.
Hey. Because I told her while you were up, I said, if there's anything else you want us to check on, go for it. So it's your birthday. So.
Okay. What are we manifesting for your birthday, Rebecca?
Or are we just doing a birthday reading for you for this year? And Candy, if there's a question that you would like a mini reading on, just pop it into the chats.
So, birthday. Oh, well, this is nice. So we have the Archangel of Healing, which is King of Cups, basically. And we have the Six of Swords.
Yeah, didn't we just see that?
Mm-hmm. And now I am, of course, have to look at the trigrams because, why not?
Yeah, I'm throwing some.
Flip right to it. Oh, interesting. Okay.
I'm throwing my own. Huh?
It's lake over water.
Lake over water. I'm throwing a spread too. So you go, Jonathan.
A state of inner oppression. You are overwhelmed, unable to cope with your feelings of entanglement. There is indecisiveness in the face of what you see as your adversary. Yet you are being oppressed by that which is not oppressive. You can still prevail in spite of the initial oppression. You are oppressed by bonds that can be broken easily. The oppression is in your mind. Reconcile logic, reason, and rationality with emotional expression, intuition, and spiritual understanding. So you are being guarded by an archangel of healing, first of all. So the oppression is not really anything that you have to worry about, especially with this Six of Swords taking you away from the troubled waters and into calmer waters, right? So this is just talking about how you have all the treasures that you need as far as like spiritual knowledge, spiritual understanding. It's there. You have it. You just need to ask your archangel to give it to you. And this moving forward, moving on, is you finally realizing that you can move past this supposed oppression that you think is stopping you. And the sword in her hand says communicato, which is Latin for communication. So it's telling you that your communication is the key. That's what I got from there.
Well,
let me look at the deck real quick, because the joint one, we have two of chalices, another cup. Right? So we have the king of chalices, archangel healing, and here we have the two. So this is your subconscious and conscious coming together. It's not just you getting help from someone else, it's you really healing that inner bond between the subconscious and conscious. And when those two work in unison, that is when you really have those healing waters.
That kind of makes sense. I'm not going into individual cards here. I'm looking at what I threw as just a message. And it's really interesting because my little standard spread has 6 cards in it. What, why, current influences, and outcome. And so the Page of Swords is there as the first card. So this is like to me, it's new way of thinking. The majority of the cards were in reverse, which I do use consideration. And there are cards that all signify, for the most part, some kind of struggle. Whether it's an action or an internal struggle. And the way this reading came out for me is to set aside some old ways of doing that, because all of these struggle cards are in reverse, that it's time to put the struggle down, that it's time to stop fighting the battle, and especially by yourself. Because I did pull a shadow card, which was about partnerships and unions.
That was my shadow card too.
Yeah, it's exactly. So this is, instead of carrying the burden on your own back, to perhaps channel it someplace where you're doing something effectively, but you're not completely alone in this. Whether it is a volunteering kind of thing, or being involved in a different group that shares the same values as you, but isn't focused on the problem so much, to turn to others for help in processing some of these feelings for you, to channel it in a different direction, someplace where you can really have an impact. I know you're fostering the doggos and you've got your whole tribe of kitties and everything, but this seems to me like this is something that needs to maybe take a step away from the circle of your household and put your focus on something that's outside of the perimeter, even if you're doing it online, something where you're interacting not within just the nuclear household. If this is making any sense for you, it's this one for me is a little bit of a struggle.
Yeah, I had a little same struggle, I think.
It's a little bit of a struggle because we're all so homebound anymore. So how do you advise someone to take it out into the streets and not carry the burden by yourself? It's a little bit of a struggle figuring that out. But the main message for me is to ease the stress on yourself by channeling and focusing your attention onto something where you can have some impact pretty quickly, even if it's small things instead of global things. Something that your actions can show some pretty helpful outcomes quickly, if this makes sense. Even if that means handing out muffins in the park to homeless people 1 day a week, just something that has an immediate impact. Yeah. Hi, Deanne. Yes. I hope that helps.
That helps, Rebecca.
It sounds like a challenge to me. I'm not gonna lie. It sounds like a challenge.
Yeah, it's very true. For my personal life, I need to let go of the past, but I'm diving headfirst into new abortion laws. I still foster and save lives, but I need to do more.
Right. But in that doing more, don't feel like it's up to you to solve it and save it, because you are but one part of the mechanism that's going to help turn the cranks on this one. And to remember to give yourself some kind of an immediate gratification to offset some of that. Thankfully the guides, thank you for showing up, guys. They're saying you need to really be careful with your balance here energetically. That it can't always be go, 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 warpath, battle, everything. That you are, in order for you to keep it together, you're going to need some immediate gratification somewhere. So they're saying that's why, even if you literally just go to Costco and get a tray of muffins and hand them out to some homeless people somewhere once a week, something where you can see somebody that's grateful for your actions right away.
Rebecca asks, do I need to do more readings where I can help him?
I don't think that's it. I feel like this is something where human beings, you need to have some feedback from human beings.
Thank you both. I live for challenge.
You go, girl.
We got another request from Candy's Broom Closet. Any financial advice?
Yes, let's find out. I'm going to use my trusty cards too.
And as Gerald always reminds us, this is for entertainment purposes.
Entertainment purposes only. That's right. But purchase responsibly.
Know your limits.
Oh, Rebecca's going to crack up. My guides, she and I, we have a similar theme in our life. My guides were nagging at me yesterday to contact my lurker, or just to check up on my lurker. And I finally acquiesced after dodging it for hours to discover he had broken his pelvis 2 weeks ago. And had just got out of the hospital and posted that 4 hours prior to when I looked at it. So, yeah, that's what's up with my lurker.
So let's see. We get the triagram for Earth mixed with the. It's not the triagram. What is it called? It's the Howard Cross, I want to say. So instead of a regular trigram, it's this X with dots, which means that this is counted twice, basically.
Yeah, I mean, not exactly, but these are what they look like. This is Joey.
Too much going on over here.
Yeah, it sounds like you've got everybody at home.
I do. Everybody and all the neighbors too. Yeah. Okay. So, sorry. Candy, any financial advice?
Any financial advice? I got my stuff.
So the hexagram that this ends up creating is hexagram 2, which is supportive power, divine yin. In the beginning, there is darkness and confusion. Yet deep in that darkness, attainment awaits. The way to success for you is by being receptive and yielding. Yielding is the true way to lead. No need for greater ambition at this time. Be content and at peace with what you possess. Harness the force and power of soft earth. Like the earth, the sage accepts the character of all, for better or for worse, and nurtures all with compassion, without exception. So the interesting thing about that is that it came from the Ace of Orbs or Ace of Pentacles with the Chariot. Okay, so financial advice is the seeds you plant is planted by the path you choose, right? So the destiny you choose helps you plant the seeds, and vice versa, right? I feel like also that it's less about what you can do by yourself, because the shadow card is the kindred, right? The Three of Chalices. So it's talking about doing it with others, okay? It's talking about how, yes, you are planting seeds and you're choosing what your destiny is, but you don't walk the path alone. You walk it with others. So don't forget that when you're thinking about finances. I'm going to mute myself while you talk.
Okay. For me, I'm again going to just talk about my theme here. And what I'm getting is that it's time for a reboot and a reset to get where you want to go. That the past is done. The past is done. It didn't work out so great. That there's a break from what had been, and to get to where we want to go, it's time for your action to really dictate. It's time for your actions to dictate your outcome. So, because that card I got for you is the Queen of Wands. So this isn't about hoping for a contact that's going to work out, waiting period, being patient and hoping for the best. What I got is this is all about you taking command and accepting where you are and why, and deciding what is going to serve you the best going forward. That waiting for someone else to come in to help you out on this one, not so much. This is really about the ending of what was and the beginning of something new. And I'm seeing if the guides would like to elaborate on that, but they're saying, no, this is a lesson that you're really going to need to accept wholeheartedly and persevere through. Okay. So there you go. Yeah, absolutely. So to create the new, what you want for you to be. And so I say this a lot with people with manifesting, tell that story in great detail. So if it's in a journal, I love writing things down because it really presents it to the universe. I would tell the story of who you are and where you want to be in very great detail. Make it colorful, make it all kinds of subtle little nuances and different things, but tell that story as if you're writing a book for a child to enjoy, and then believe in that and follow that. Well, that works. Yeah. Yes. So
writing a few scripts. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. But really tell your story in great detail about where you want to be and how you feel there too. That's always a biggie. Connect emotionally to that. Yeah. And I see Blue Crescent Tarot popped in, and
yes, that is the
Ange popped in.
Ange.
It sounds like she's doing the work too. So yeah, that's awesome. You're welcome, Candy. Yeah.
Sorry for being distracted.
No. And what about Jonathan? Well, you've probably been reading yourself for the past 5 weeks.
I do have one that I can do a quick read. Well, I mean, I kind of did it at the end of my chat. So, but I could, yeah, because I did the one about my trip, so I can do one about, but I guess when I come back, what should my financial creation be focused on?
And Janine Barnes just popped into the chat. Aloha.
Hi, Janine. Aloha.
We do have time for one more quick question if you want.
Okay. So for my own little, interesting. I got 6 of chalices, 9 of orbs, and that creates, let's see. That is earth over wind. Oh, interesting. 46, push upwards.
And so this is for you when you return home from vacation, right?
Right. And what I need to focus on to help grow.
Okay. You'll be all refreshed.
46, push upward, hoist. Hoist the sails.
Sounds like you're going back to the gym.
The seed deep within the earth begins its push upward as it grows into a tree. Give the seed time to push through the resistance of the earth. In time, the seed will flourish. The sage adheres to virtuous practice and grows upward like the tree. Small victories accumulate to become greatness. One victory hoists up another until you attain supreme success. The winds of change are blowing in your favor, and the resources of the earth avail themselves to you. I think I'm going to be making a lot more necklaces.
Cool.
And it's 6 of chalices, so we have a baby phoenix and a baby dragon.
Oh, I get to be the phoenix. You're the dragon. We already know that.
Yeah, we know that. That's a given.
I love
9 of orbs. So the thing that I find very interesting here is actually what's in the background of both. Right? So in this one, well, let's start with the first one. The first one that we got was here. So we have, I'm pointing at the wrong thing. Here we go. So here we have the story, or the story keeper, the history keeper. He has the staff, and he's looking up at the teepee or totem pole. And then over here, we have Cirrus, who is listening to a conch shell and watching smoke come up from a bowl and giving out readings like this. And then over here, we have the mother, the maiden, and the crone. So I feel like this is saying that the finances are really all about me focusing on this kind of stuff, and embracing the maiden, mother, and crone energy. That's what I'm seeing.
Cool.
Oh, we do have a question from Ange. I have a question. I'm leaving on vacation at the end of the next month and beginning of August. First time in 3 years. What advice can you give me, or what do I need to know?
You know, my guides, they want a location. They're
like, well, where are you going?
Well, I don't know. Well, okay, no, wait. That's the wrong thing. They're not asking me where you're going. They're asking, what is your connection to Ireland? What's going on with Ireland? Yeah, it might seem off topic, but they want to know what's the deal about Ireland. If you can pop a little something in there down below for us, that would be awesome. They won't let me off of it until I hear something.
I'm going to New Brunswick and Maine, and then
Cape Cod. So New England. All right, I'll Jonathan, you do your thing. I'm going to ask him what's going on now with all of that.
He says nothing about Ireland, though.
Yeah, nothing about Ireland. That I'll go ask him what's the deal.
Oh, I got 2 4s here. That's interesting. What is the hexagram? Oh, interesting. This is Lake over Wind. Lake over Wind. Interesting. Okay, so it's undertaking the great tipping point, excessive force. You are the sage who stands independent and fierce, without fear, renouncing the world you knew. It is a tipping point. You are reaching critical mass, embarking on a great endeavor. You may need to use excessive personal force. You're on a path of transformation. To facilitate that transformation, excessive force may be necessary, though by the laws of nature, there are consequences to the use of excessive force. It is a turning point in your life. The dried poplar yields one final blossom, its last great act before the poplar withers. And the interesting is the first card has almost looks like a poplar tree in it, but you got the 4 of chalices with the 4 of swords. So I think that this vacation really needs to be resting mentally, resting emotionally, but also resting physically and giving yourself time for meditation during the trip, right? To tap that inner self, right? Even here, they're resting. So I think this vacation needs to be more about rest, recuperation, and just getting back in touch with your own feelings and thoughts. Oh, interesting.
Wow.
We get the magus at the bottom too. So the vacation is what you make of it.
Wow, this is interesting. I don't know where I went. And Jonathan, while you were reading, I closed my eyes. I don't even know where I went. I have no idea where I went. I was so far away. Yeah, this one is tripping me out. They're telling me to ask you to do a really deep meditation while you're there recharging, but like a really specific ceremonial kind of a meditation.
This was given too.
Oh, I never even saw that. I don't know where I went. I never even saw that card.
Yeah, these are the 2 cards I pulled.
Oh, I don't even remember either one. I knew you were talking. I didn't hear a word of it. But I keep seeing the same thing. This is really weird. I keep seeing someone's foot in like a mossy water marshy thing. It's not necessarily muddy. It's not, the water is clear. There's moss in the water and it's muddy down beneath, but the foot isn't stirring up mud, but it's kicking something that looks like an egg. I don't know what this is. I have no idea. This is what they keep showing me. But it's not a friendly kick. It's
a see you later kick.
it was when my eyes were closed and I transported, that was what I saw. I saw the foot, and it was almost like a moccasin. I saw it kick the egg, but it felt like somebody was kicking someone else in the guts.
This makes sense. I need to let go of the things that had happened to narcissistic dad and bury it there. Release the waters is what I'm getting.
Kicking the egg. That makes a little more sense now. Kicking the egg in clean water. Kicking it, and again, the reference was in the gut. That the kicking has to do with kicking in or kicking something out of the gut.
Right.
This to me feels like a really deep process and a sacred process. I'm thinking that the Ireland reference is something about a past life influence that may come through. I know Acadian is, when I think of Acadians, my head goes to Louisiana and French Canadians and French trappers and whatnot. That's where my head goes to. So none of the reference has anything to do with Ireland, but that they say what they say.
It'll make sense later, right?
Right. It all does. It always makes sense in the end.
I hope that was helpful, Ange. We're
Yeah.
almost at the hour. Do you have anything coming up for you?
Yes.
Hello, Ms. Adna.
Hi. Yeah, Rebecca got frustration from women. Aloha. Yes, I do. My sister and I are rebooting our Psychic Sisters live chats where we talk about magical talk and also offer a few mini readings, live mini readings. But she's an animal communicator. So, Rebecca, get those questions ready. And I, of course, will be talking to guides and loved ones that crosses over.
Angie, one last thing to say. It makes a lot of sense. I'm in a deaf year too. Acadians from Maine, and there are a lot of Irish. There is an Irish town nearby too that I enjoy. Oh my gosh. Ooh, maybe that's what it's referencing.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So, yep, Friday at 6 a.m. Hawaii, 9 a.m. Pacific, and 3 p.m. Eastern is Psychic Sisters Fridays. And also on July 12th, I will be guesting on Gerald's channel, Tarot Stash. We're going to be having a laugh and learn discussion about mediumship.
Great. That sounds like so much fun. I'm looking forward to that chat with Gerald.
Yeah. And how about you, Jonathan? What's up next for you?
Next week, I need to touch bases with her, but I was thinking about having Emily Carding come on, talking about their new Fae deck. Or not deck, Fae book, the little book. And I don't know. They are a very active actor, so I don't know what their schedule is going to be like. So I'm not 100% sure. And then after that, I'm going away on my vacation, so I'll have a couple weeks where I'm not putting out anything. And then when we get back, July, we get back on the 25th, and then July 26th, we are doing this again, but with a special guest.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's going to be a fun one. I'm really looking forward to that. July 26th, we'll be on again live.
And Saturday the 31st. I think that's right.
That of July. Sorry.
I'm going to have a Q&A session with Benebell about the Spirit Keepers Tarot.
Nice.
So that's what I have in July. I don't really have a lot going on in July because now I'm going to be gone.
Yeah, going to be gone.
And then August, I think that first week in August, I am actually going to have. I'm blanking on the name. Let me just find the deck real quick. Jennifer Cooper Steedley is going to be on, and we're going to talk about Tarot Disassembled.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that chat. And yeah, so back to our regular schedules on Tuesday for the most part. I'll be doing interviews starting in August again. It was fun doing a deep dive, but I miss doing the interviews. There's a lot of fun. So much fun getting to see a deck from the creator's point of view. So I look forward to returning to that.
Cool.
And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much again, Betsy, for yet another wonderful time.
Thank you, Jonathan. It's always so much fun. And thank you to everyone in the chat.
Yes,
thank you. We really appreciate you being here.
And thank you anyone who's watching back, because we appreciate all of you. Oh, thank you, Candy. Yeah.
Nice to meet you. I hope to see you again soon. Check out my channel, Medium Betsy Palmer.
Yes. I don't think I put the link in. I think I just have your
That's
website.
Okay. You can just Google my name and I'll show up.
I'll show up, all of it.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, everyone. Ahui ho.